Alright kids, I'm going to show you how to get both motors running on our programs. We got 3 programs we can work with so far, and in each of those programs we just had the right motor going. So I'm going to show you how to throw that left motor in there, and that's kind of a handy thing to have in there in case you're doing a program where it's driving and it's going to pick something up, or maybe you got 2 drive motors and you want it to turn, so you reverse the motor on one side while the other motor goes forward, and it can kind of make a pivot turn. So you have to be able to get a couple motors going at the same time, so I was going to show you how to get those in your programs. Now, I'm going to start out, I'm going to go over here to Robot C for Vex Robotics, and the reason I'm pointing this out is there is other Robot C stuff on the desktop, and people are getting a little bit confused by it. There's one that says Graphical Robot Virtual Worlds, another Graphical Robot C for Vex Robotics. Here's Robot Virtual Worlds, but you want Robot C for Vex Robotics. And what we found out in the lab is there's 2 or 3 computers that doesn't have Robot C on it. If that's the case, we're going to have to move you around a little bit. I think we're working through that and figuring out which computers you need. But be aware, if you don't see Robot C for Vex Robotics on your desktop, come find me and we'll get you started at a different computer. Now I'm going to open some of my existing programs, so if it's a program that I'm working on, I want to go open and compile. And one program that I started was the test bed. So I'm going to open my test bed program. And there's some errors in there. I'll show you here in a moment why that's wrong, because people have been running into that problem too. But I want to open my other programs too, so I have them all up here in tabs. So I'm going to go open and compile again. And let's see what other programs I had. I think I had one that was called First Program. That's from the other day. And this was one where I believe we had the motors going different speeds. Now, it says not responding. Don't worry, it catches up. It's kind of angry, and what the problem is, see, the same issue again. My program's open, but there's errors. And it confuses some people because they're like, I had this open before and it was working right. Don't worry, we'll fix it in a moment. Let's open one more program. Open and compile. I'm looking for my analog sensors one from the other day. Or did I call it potentiometer? I might have called it potentiometer. Oh, I had a line follower and I had a potentiometer, so we might as well open both of those. There's line follower and one more potentiometer. So there were 2 programs I was working on when we were doing analog sensors. So everything should be open now, and it's going to show up here in the top of our programs. We got different tabs up here. I have test bed, I have first program, I have line follower, and I have potentiometer. Now this is kind of handy because you can be working on multiple programs at once. You can kind of make a copy of a program and you can play around with it and try and troubleshoot some errors that you might have. Now, let's go back to test bed, this first one right here. That's potentiometer. All right, we'll go to first program. Somehow I saved potentiometer over test bed. Okay, here's where we had the right motor going different speeds. Now, we have errors. Look at all those errors there. Here's how you fix it. You go Robot, Platform Type, Vex Robotics 2.0, and then you also go Robot, Platform Type again, Natural Language PLTW. See how it cleaned it up? Now let's see if it did that with our other programs. Okay, it almost fixed that one. Let me hit compile and see what happens. Fix that one, and let's check out potentiometer. Looks like it fixed that one too. So, common thing, when you exit out of a program, it defaults back to a previous platform type, so you have to fix that. All right, so over here, I already have left motor and right motors in this one. So this is an old program that has left motors and right motors in it, and they're going half speed. That is not what I wanted. Let me pause this real quick. Okay, I'm back. So apparently I saved over a program that I didn't mean to, but we're going to continue with adding in a second motor. So here's what we're going to do. Looking at, I'm using my line follower program right here, and I have just right motors. So I'm going to go and I'm going to change this so that it's left motor, right motor, left motor. Now, I'm going to delete some of this because this was all copies. And then I'm going to copy this line. And I'm going to place it below itself. Now, instead of saying right motor, I'm going to change this to left motor. And then I'm also going to copy this line. Again, I'll place it below itself, and I'll change this to left motor as well. Now, up here in task description, where it says motor, I'm going to change that to both motors. And in pseudocode, I'm going to put, again, both motors, so that I know what's going on, so that both motors are going to be actuated. So this is kind of like a program for a rover where it's using a line follower. Now I'm going to copy all this text, and I'm going to paste it a few times. Return, paste, return, paste. That way I can repeat the program over again. Let's hit compile, make sure everything's all right. And we'll do a save. Takes a moment to save that. Computer's really having a thing. Okay, we're going to go over here to our Cortex, and we're going to plug in our USB. Hopefully by now this is something you're comfortable doing. And we'll turn on the Cortex so we get both green lights. Now it's running an old program. I can hold my hand over that sensor, but you may have noticed it's only running one motor. So we're going to go back to our program here, and we want to update our firmware. Again, we're starting the Cortex over fresh, erasing the previous program on there, and you can hear the motors trying to run a little bit. Firmware is being updated. And you might not always start with the same test bed. Just you take one off the shelf, it might be different than the one you used previously. However, with everything set up the same, it should run your program. Now we're going to do a download to robot. We'll press start, and you can hear it running right away, and you do see both motors going. Put my finger over the sensor, they stop, and they go again. And you'll see that they're both going in the same direction. Now, at this point we can unhook our USB. It starts the program over, but let's say this was a vehicle you wanted to drive on the ground. So I put my finger over the sensor, turn it on, motors go, motors stop, motors go, and motors stop. So there we have both motors running in our program. What I'd like to see you folks do at this point is go back to some of your other programs, like your first program and your potentiometer program, and add that second motor in. So you're getting used to adding more motors into your program. And try and do it not necessarily by dragging and dropping those commands over, but remember what I was doing over here on Robot C where I was copying and pasting text, give that a shot. So hopefully you've had some success to this point. Remember, batteries, they're on the chargers. You're looking for the ones with the green lights. Make sure that if you take a battery off the charger, that you put another battery on. Orange cords are over there as well. I hope you're getting pumped up about this project, getting some programming done, learning some new skills. These are useful skills that you'll see in industry, you'll see it in the high school. Great career development for folks like you. So until next time, good luck.